Good evening and welcome to the Matthew Danko podcast. Don't call it that. I'm your host, Matthew the Dr. Danko. Now, this is a special edition of the Matthew Danko podcast because not only is this the second one I've done this year, but I'm here with two of my good friends and two guys that I've actually guest starred on their podcast, the Guys Talking About Shit podcast, Bobby and Adam. Welcome, guys.
Hi.
Hello.
I've invited them to, guest star on this podcast because really I need to get a fire lit under my ass and start doing these podcasts more often. Because for the two people out there that listen, they're here, and I want I want more people to, get in on this shit. So since they're 16, 17 episodes in already,
Technically 16.
Oh, the lost
15
episode.
Is the lost episode.
Yeah, 15 is the lost episode right now.
But they've been doing it weekly. I've been doing it biannually. So I kind of want to get shit started. And this was the perfect way to do it. Kind of the reason I haven't been doing it has been school shit, because in February I was told that I wasn't going to graduate because I was 12 credits short due to my fucking advisor. And
fuck advisors.
Yeah,
what's his name? Blow up his house.
Yeah.
I don't know if I should say his name now. But
just give me a last name.
Well, he's kind of known by his last name, so
give me a first name. I'll just start going through the phone book.
All right, Jeremy.
All right.
But
anyone named Jeremy,
we're coming for you.
You better watch out.
But basically, the thing was, I got this email from the office or the student accounts office, and they're like, due to you missing 12 credits, you're not going to graduate in May, basically. And I was like, fucking shit, it's already February, and you guys are telling me this now? And so, I immediately, sent out blast emails, and I went to my advisor, and I was like, dude...
Why'd you fuck this up?
Exactly. I'm like, I have to send it to you for approval. Why the fuck did you not look at it? And he's like, well, yeah, basically. And I was like, what the fuck is that?
Basically, I don't do my job.
I was like, I understand you have, a whole plethora of students you have to advise, but, you only have a quarter of the mass.
I feel like they overblow their job a little bit.
Yeah. And
I don't think it's as hard as they make it seem.
15 minutes to look up your file and see, he's missing these courses.
But I send it electronically, so I'm sure he gets a notification.
It's instantaneous, exactly. And he's
also the head of the cinema department, so he gets two of those. One being my advisor and one being the head of the cinema department, and those were the credits I was missing. So then it came down to me doing all the legwork and shit, and he was just like... He didn't encourage me. I could show you the emails. He was just like, at this point, you might as well just give up. And I was like...
That's advising.
And I was like, what the hell? I'm not coming back for another semester for basically to pay all that money. Because that's, I think, essentially what it comes down to, is they just want more
money, yeah.
And he didn't even suggest, coming back in the summer to do this shit. He was just like, yeah, come back in the fall. And I'm like, bitch... It's halfway through this.
To be honest, if had that been in my case, bitch would have exactly been the word I would have used. This wouldn't have been in my back of my head, I would call him a bitch. I'd be like, bitch, you better figure this shit out.
Well, that's the thing.
This is your motherfucking job.
Yeah.
I was getting real tense with him, and I was like, but I still technically need him to approve shit, so I'll, just not blow off on him. Yeah.
And then
the minute I got my diploma, I sent out a letter. And I'm planning on calling him later this week because I just got it. But saying, you fucked up and this is unacceptable. Now that I have a diploma, I don't need to worry about shit. But you're just a bitch for not... 12 fucking credits? How do you miss that?
Yeah.
But out of it, at least, I wanted to get 3 of those credits. I did an independent study. And for the independent study, I looked at Marvel and DC movies and the American Western movies. And basically I did 12 or so podcasts of that. So I haven't been technically not podcasting, I just haven't been doing it under the Matthew Danko podcast. But anyway, so despite all that, I'm back. But
we've it's funny because we've seen Danko break out of his shell
We've kind of forced him out.
Yeah.
Which is good. It's necessary.
We are friends.
Yeah.
We are your friends.
Jesus Christ.
You know, somebody brought that movie up to me the other day because they saw the trailer. No. They saw the trailer, and like for a second, I was like, "Are they going to try to tell me like they want to see this movie?" They didn't really. They weren't sold on it, but I just went off for like another 10 to 15 minutes about how much of a piece of shit that movie is. Like, I still don't understand who was asking for that.
It's the same people who were looking for the Poltergeist remake.
Who
was looking for it?
Shitty.
Yeah, who was looking for that?
Despite Sam Rockwell, he was great.
Well, Sam Rockwell's.
He's amazing.
I love Sam.
But yeah, so apart from starting this podcast up and co-starring on there, guys talking about shit podcasts every now and then, I think the Dank work is going to be live. I guess I don't want to jinx it or put too many eggs in one basket, but by 2016, the Dank work, which is the network of podcasts that we're doing, will be up and running. Hopefully, because we have a few people that want to do some shows, talk about some random shit. Our buddy Sam, he does all kinds of interviews and stuff.
Yeah, actually, I think 2 weeks from now he has an interview scheduled with Tom Holland.
Oh, yeah.
So.
And you said Michael A. Baldwin?
Yeah, he's trying to get Michael A. Baldwin when the Horror Realm convention comes to Pittsburgh. I think he might set up another interview with Tom Atkins.
Yeah.
He had interviewed him for his radio show.
Yeah.
So
who also went to Point Park, but
yeah.
So hopefully we'll have a show for him. The guys talking about shit podcast, the Matthew Danko podcast. This other podcast I have in mind is working title is the Dankmobile, where I drive around with people and just like shoot the shit. Kind of like
should get you like a
dashboard
cam that points in at your face.
Yeah. Or if we ever do the GoPro thing.
I think that's a project that we might have to do like a Kickstarter for, because
that's fine.
GoPro is very expensive.
Yeah, but so there's
driving
some good stuff.
Danko.
Yeah, driving with Danko.
That's what you should have called it.
Like I said, it's just in the works, but yeah, I think it's gonna be there's some good shit going around, and I'm excited to get this off the ground. I've been talking about it for a while, but it's basically Adam and, to an extent, Bobby have been really like pushing it forward.
Danko's the ultimate procrastinator, even worse than me. Like I
was gonna say
he's things
worse than me.
Well, it's just.
Have you seen my room?
Yeah.
My room looks like shit every single week. I'm so bad at procrastinating. I don't even throw away the show notes from like 2 weeks prior.
That's true.
It's just like so much. We talked about this kind of last time on their show, but like I have no control over anything in my life, so my days are planned for me by everyone else. So I can't do the shit that I want to do ever. And so like it actually, when we made the Danko forum on Facebook, like if it wasn't for that, like we probably wouldn't be doing the show right now.
Yeah. Good.
So I'm glad shit's coming out of it. But, so let's start talking about some shit, not to, I know that's copyrighted.
Yeah, I know. Well, we haven't. We'll put something at the end of that.
Yeah.
We'll let it slide this time.
But, alright. Good.
Slide.
No cease and desist orders.
We'll let it slide, yeah. Considering that we're going to be on your network.
Yeah.
That is named for your namesake.
But, recently, going into some Evil Dead news, I found out a little bit more about it and what the show entails. Apparently, Lucy Lawless is. I think we talked about it a little bit, but she's been,
Is she on there?
She's going to be on it
Awesome.
as like a
reoccurring
character.
I love Lucy Lawless.
At first, when I read it, I was like, is she coming back as like Xena? Because they do a crossover in the comics, Xena and the Evil Dead. And I was like,
what?
Wow, that sounds awesome.
I took a leap, and I was like, that really can't be it. But they're actually doing another Xena project. She's on this Salem Witch show of some kind, but apparently they're talking about bringing Xena back for some spin-off show or something.
She was on that Spartacus show for a good while after Battlestar Galactica.
Yeah.
And she was like... I was such a big fan of Battlestar Galactica that anybody who was on that show, no matter what they did afterwards, I was watching it. Yeah. Like, I watched 3 seasons of Hawaii Five-0 just because man, it's been so long, but one of the Cylon girls was in there. the Asian one,
Yeah.
was on that show, and that's why I watched it. But I'm just saying. I digress with the. But Lucy Lawless, I followed her into Spartacus.
She's been pretty busy. I mean, granted, I didn't realize how busy she was. I mean, she showed up on Parks and Rec. Ron's.
But I really like.
She's great.
She's good. She does a lot of like those type of fan shows, like shows that will actually.
If it is a Xena Evil Dead crossover episode, can we please not have Kevin Sorbo?
Why don't you want Kevin Sorbo?
Yeah, why not?
Because have you played Hercules on the N64?
No, he didn't. He had nothing to do with it. I played it too. Biggest piece of shit.
But originally, when I heard that they were doing an Evil Dead show, that's kind of what I thought it would be. It would be like a Hercules type, the way it's set up. Maybe a little bit of a Quantum Leap, where he's just bouncing around through time, defeating Deadites.
That'd be great.
I thought that would have been such a cool show, because you would have a mix of like a bunch of like 80s shows, and then with the new spin on it, because they always said they were going to do that crossover with the new Evil Dead. So I figured they would just combine the two, because I still don't know how they're going to, like we talked about on your show. Like, I don't understand how they're going to do the old school funny Bruce Campbell.
Yeah.
With the
Remember?
new school.
That was me doing like the devil's advocate, and it's like now it's like sticking. Like, it is a very fine line. Like, where do you draw the line on the humor and the gore? Because it is stars. This isn't,
Yeah.
They can do it. They can do all that violence and all that.
Yeah.
I've seen that Evil Dead movie on Stars, so they clearly don't have a problem with it.
And of course, I mean, what everyone's looking forward to is seeing Ash in his costume. And he's been releasing a few photos of what it's been looking like. So, part of me, I mean, granted, I don't know if they would do it, but for that 30-second trailer or whatever where he is wearing the chainsaw, I mean, that could actually be him. Not that they would need him for that, but if they were, I feel like they've put him through like the full get-up, and they've been filming, I'm guessing. Mm-hmm. So that could have been him with the chainsaw, which is just cool to speculate.
Oh, I kind of assumed it was him with the chainsaw. That's how I kind of assumed it.
Didn't look like it wasn't. It was definitely his voice.
It was his voice, but I'm saying, like, they could just get anybody to wear it for that one shot.
Mm-hmm. No, yeah, you're right.
How pissed are you going to be if it's actually not Bruce Campbell? They're going to dub the character. They're going to dub Bruce Campbell's voice over a different actor.
I'd still watch it just because it's Bruce Campbell's voice, but that would be such a shame.
Mm-hmm. With that trailer, they should have just done a cut of his chin.
Yeah, they could have.
Just shown a cut of his chin and be like, that's Bruce Campbell. Because you know that, like, they didn't show any actual, like, flesh on him. Because, you know, there's Bruce Campbell fans that be like, that finger doesn't look right. That's not him.
Yeah.
That's not him. The finger's not right.
That finger's a little too long. Those cuticles, they're not the right color.
I find it hilarious if, like, the first episode they have somebody dressed in Ash's costume, but it's like an Asian woman, and they just dub his voiceover. This is like a fuck you. And then they just replace that character with Bruce Campbell after the first episode.
Hey, I mean, if it's in the style of Quantum Leap, it could just be Bruce Campbell's voice and, like, all these, like, random characters.
All these random bodies.
Apparently he's supposed to, from what I read, he has, like, a sidekick and shit like that. I think Lucy Lawless plays either a detective or, like, somebody who knows, like, ritual shit, like a witch doctor type thing.
Oh, like a voodoo person.
Something like that. But as far as the plot goes, as I said on their show, Bruce Campbell's Ash character still doesn't, like, do shit. He's, like, doesn't like to take responsibility for anything. He's still the wisecracking, like, I don't fucking know what to do kind of guy.
Yeah.
But there's some killings going on in the neighborhood. I think he lives in a trailer park. Like, he's like a washed up action star in a sense. And when these murders happen in the trailer park, everyone starts looking at Bruce because they tie him.
He's a chainsaw hand?
Probably something like that, I would imagine.
Well, I mean, we're talking about like a Midwestern American trailer park. It's probably not too far off.
Right.
And
he's like crazy.
Having a chainsaw
I think he's also like crazy, like telling stories about his past, and people just don't believe him. So all the police force in the area like look to him as the prime suspect. And I think at one point like he gets taken into custody, and then Deadites start appearing out of nowhere, and then they're like, "We need your help," and then he throws on the chainsaw hand, which is really cool as far as the story goes. But still, I'm curious to see the mesh between new and old.
That's what I'm the most curious about, because I love both of them so much. I really, really, really enjoyed the reboot-ish Evil Dead.
Yeah,
I just
it
really,
was fun.
I really liked it a lot, and I would like to see how they blend it, because I want to see those practical effects. Have they said anything about like practical effects? If that's going to be a part, I doubt
it's a television show. I would assume they're going to go practical.
Because what?
But with all the original guys involved, Sam Raimi and at least Bruce Campbell, I'm pretty sure they'll stay true. They were involved with the new Evil Dead, and they use a lot of practicals on that.
Yeah, that's why I liked it so much.
So I'd imagine for the show, because this is a very fan-driven
project.
I'd imagine they wouldn't skimp out on the special effects like that.
I hope not.
Because that's what makes it so, like...
Evil Dead-ish.
Yeah. It's just, everything was done with a shit budget. Because it was an independent film.
But it was still done with a lot of care.
Yeah,
and a lot of attention to detail.
Here's a question for you. This is just me wondering. Which Evil Dead film do you like the most?
Well, it's funny, because the first one I saw was Army of Darkness, because that kind of... I'm not sure when it came out, but it was relative... I mean, I was alive when it came out.
Is it 89? Or is that 90s?
I think it was a 90s film.
Really?
I want to say it's
I thought the second Evil Dead was 89.
Yeah.
Then maybe that's what I'm getting confused with.
But I saw the third one, and then... But it works as a standalone film, so I didn't know there was a series of them.
Yeah.
And then when I was probably in like middle school, and when I started getting into horror movies, and then I found out there is a series of them, so I went back and I watched the first one, fell in love with that, and then I watched the second one, and in the second one, there's a scene where they get like the pages from some book, and there's this, it's like a medieval times thing, and there's like this hero came from the sky with like lightning from his hand or something like that.
Okay.
But it shows a picture of a guy with a chainsaw and a boomstick. And since I saw Army of Darkness, that's what they made. They spun that off of that scene. But of all three of them, I think 2 is probably the best, because it's the one where Ash has the most to do compared to the first one. It's where he gets his chainsaw arm, and a lot of, like, it's a mix of the first one, but it's still its own awesome second film. And they cut some of the, I mean, not that I don't like the first one, but like the sister and the tree scene isn't in there because they didn't need to do that again.
The tree scene. That was the first thing I ever saw Evil Dead wise.
Yeah.
That was the first thing, that scene? Or? I happened to come across that scene, and I was like, what the hell is going on? I was young.
Yeah.
I think it was on, like, at a Halloween marathon. I remember not a lot from my, like, that era, but I was a pretty big pussy at it whenever I was younger.
Yeah.
And so I remember The Shining. I just remember glimpses of horror films here and there. One was New Nightmare, when Freddy comes out on the stage, and,
and
it's Robert Englund, and he cuts it. There's that. There's The Shining with the axe scene in The Shining with the guy who is sitting there, the dude with the actual shining power with the kid, the telepathic thing, and Evil Dead tree rape scene.
Quite the combo.
Yeah, right? I did check on Army of Darkness. It was 92.
92. Okay, so that was the year I was born, so I probably saw Army of Darkness.
You were born in 1992?
Yeah. We went over this.
He's younger than us.
I don't remember. I'm older than you. I don't remember.
You're losing those brain cells.
So yeah, I probably saw that probably when I was like 4 or 5. But it was good.
I actually didn't see Army of Darkness till I was older.
Yeah.
Probably like 17. Took a while.
Yeah.
Crazy.
It's a good movie. I think it's
fun.
Underrated of the three of them, because they love the
I was going to say, the Evil
most.
Dead franchise in general is just the best.
Cult-based.
Because it's a comedy horror. Like, it's not...
which is a really odd line to cross. A lot of people just don't get it.
Yeah.
It's kind of like...
they either take it as a serious horror movie, and they're like, well, this is too cheesy.
It's like how a lot of people don't get, like, it's so bad it's good.
Yeah.
Not saying Evil Dead is like that,
Right.
but it's when you remake these, like, two genres where it's like, oh, it's bad, but it's good.
Yeah.
It's really hard to
Good bad.
explain, and it's kind of like the same thing with Evil Dead. It's a horror movie, but it's kind of supposed to be funny.
Yeah.
Well, like, isn't that bad, though, for a horror movie to be comedy? And, like, not if it's intended. It's really weird to explain, and that's Evil Dead is a perfect example of, like...
But there's a charm to it.
That's kind of where that started, too, isn't it?
Yeah, I would say. I mean, maybe there are a few movies that come before it, but that's the one I think of.
Child's Play is after Evil Dead, isn't it? The original Evil Dead?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And that's the next one that I can think of that's like comedy horror, sort of.
Yeah. I mean, all I know is that, like Stephen King, like, loved it so much, that's the only reason why the second one pretty much got made.
Yeah, his quote is on the poster.
Oh, yeah.
The original one.
Yeah.
I
like
need to
the
go
first
back
one
and
the
rewatch
best.
it, yeah.
Yeah, I like the first one the best.
I don't know, it's just like, not that I love the first one, it's just, as the character Ash, he does nothing.
Yeah,
But,
I mean, yeah, he's...
as a movie, it's probably
the more realistic, because he's just like...
He's just like, what the fuck
is going on? I'm so happy about this show, like, I'm really excited. As I said, though, I wasn't really big into the Evil Dead franchise until later, so I can't even imagine how long you've had to be waiting for it.
I mean, I've played anything Bruce has been in. I've kind of been consuming, like his book "If Chins Could Kill." I read in middle school. I just picked up "Make Love the Bruce Campbell Way," and any B horror movie he's ever been in, and even like "My Name Is Bruce," which is making fun of all that.
Oh yeah, no, I like "My Name Is Bruce."
And like he even did, since he's friends with Sam Raimi, he did the voiceover work in like the Spider-Man games. So, and he would narrate like what the shit you do.
Yeah,
I would get the games just for that part.
Spider-Man 2.
Actually, those Spider-Man games aren't really that bad.
No, they're pretty good.
No, they don't really hold up too well, but they were fun.
I think Ultimate Spider-Man still does, but that's
the
movies though.
Well, that's because of that how it's drawn.
I mean, it's just a free roam essentially as Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Which is
with Bruce Campbell's
and all the video games, because anything Ash, he's pretty much on board with. So he lends his voice to all those games, and those are some cool games. Like, I think kind of the plot in one of the games where he's blamed for murders of some kind is where they got it from, because that's a big plot. In, like,
that's the one on Dreamcast, isn't it?
Was that Fistful of Boomstick?
No, that's the newer one on the Xbox.
Hail to the King?
Yeah, Hail to the King is on the Dreamcast.
Yeah.
And then they remade Hail to the King for PS2 and Xbox, and then also did Fistful of Boomstick.
Yeah. And then Regeneration.
Which
is cool with the little
the little sidekick that's like kind of like Two-Face, where he's half dead on one side. And
it's a bizarre game, but it's fun. You can spend hours playing that. But moving away from Evil Dead, because we could talk about that shit forever. The new...
We're moving on to Bubba Hotep.
You know, that is another movie that I think is underrated. It's just fun to watch.
Yeah.
I have a DVD copy with a sleeve of an Elvis jacket.
The jacket one.
That's great.
I didn't at first when my dad got it. I didn't know it was Bruce Campbell. And then like halfway through it, I'm like, that's oddly familiar.
I never knew that JFK was black.
Fair enough. The new Scream television show that MTV is churning out for this new generation of kids has really got me on the fence here. Well, not really on the fence. I don't give a shit about it. So I'm pretty much past
stealing our segment again.
I'm not. Well, copyright it. Bobby and Adam copyright. But no, it's just like, I get the idea for doing a TV show version of it, because when they made the remake, the 10-year anniversary, or whatever, they always talked about making a television show from it. But none of the original characters are involved, but supposedly it ties into the original story.
Is Wes Craven involved?
He is involved.
Okay.
I don't know if he's directing or anything, but
Probably
I know,
isn't.
I wouldn't imagine he would.
Not for MTV.
I'd hope not. That
Yeah.
guy's better than that. But the thing is, like, at what point do you just move out of the fucking town where
Yeah,
all
just
this
get outta
shit is
here.
happening? Woodsboro, like, how many times has a serial killer copycatted another serial killer that started all this shit in the first place?
How many people in real life actually copycat serial killers,
Yeah.
though? It's very rare.
I mean, I don't know many stories of it.
I mean, looking at what the mask looked like and stuff
Yeah,
like
the
that.
new mask that they're doing.
We were
the
looking it up.
face-humping mask?
Yeah, Jesus.
Yeah, it does look like
A blow-up doll with a cross between a crash test dummy.
Yeah. It's
Whereas-
like all white, but
Yeah.
it kind of looks like a hockey mask, like with the
that's
straps.
what they said. What their reasoning for the new mask was, because this isn't a part of the original story, they didn't want, to use the same iconic Ghostface mask, because people would be expecting, like, any one of the original characters to show up that are still alive.
Yeah,
And,
I understand it, and I also just don't think that Ghostface, it's such a popular mask.
Yeah.
The thing is, I think a lot of people don't find it scary anymore.
Yeah.
It's been parodied so much.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, with the Ghostface mask? Did anybody ever find it scary?
I thought it was scary
In the
the first
original
time I
time.
saw it.
Yeah.
Yeah, for like the first two Screams, I thought it was pretty scary. But
Yeah.
Scream 4, which I will actually defend, is
Yeah.
I actually think that is I think that's actually a really good movie.
Honestly, I think it would go 1, 4, 2, 3 if I had to order them.
I'd probably actually agree. Maybe 2 a little bit, but yeah, I definitely would it's definitely a lot better than I thought it was going to be awful.
Yeah, yeah.
So I guess my expectations were so low, but I actually did enjoy it.
You enjoyed it, yeah.
So I don't think people find it that scary anymore, and so I think redoing it is a smart idea.
Yeah.
I think. Mostly.
No, I see that. But like, there's been so many mask face serial killers, I don't know what else they could have really done. To still keep it in that, like, because they do want it to resemble the Ghostface mask a little bit. That's why, like, the mouth is open and it's white.
Yeah, but it looks like a blowjob.
I know it does. They could have elongated it a little more, but I don't know.
It doesn't look like a ghost.
Yeah, it just looks
we
like
were discussing, like, when I saw it looked like this old 70s movie called Alice, Sweet Alice.
Yeah.
And, I mean, that's a creepy mask, but at the same time, I was like, I don't see Ghostface.
You know what it reminded
It's just
me
a
of?
white mask. It'd be like if you it's like what you said. It's like if you spray painted a blow-up doll mask and made it, like, spray painted it white.
It reminded me of the white-faced man from Marble Hornets. You've never seen Marble Hornets?
No, you told me about it. I think it was on the podcast. You told me to check it out.
You should see it.
Yeah.
I mean, I know how much I hate Robert Ebert, but he loved it.
Yeah.
So.
But
yeah, I mean, I don't know. Also putting it on MTV is just like
that's just a fucking
because all the characters in it are teenagers, but they feel like they're preteens from the photos I've seen. I mean, they're probably like 17, 16 maybe, but they feel like they're 13 and 12-year-olds running around being afraid of a serial killer.
Can Ghostface go and kill all the, like, teen moms?
I mean, that's essentially what it should be, is like
on the MTV network?
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah,
please.
like a crossover show of, like, we're gonna just rip MTV apart and kill all the characters from every show on this.
I actually...
Did I ever tell you about the first time I saw Teen Mom?
No.
I saw it one time.
Yeah.
I wanted to kill myself. I wanted to.
I've seen it more than once,
depressing
and
television show that I've ever seen in my life.
No one. Everybody has subtitles in that movie, and they're not like foreign or anything like that. They just mumble.
That's exactly.
They just mumble all the
They're
time.
uneducated white trash.
Yeah, pretty much. That's why they pretty much talk. And you never notice that none of those are in like New York or something like that. They're always in towns where like high school football is like the main,
the biggest thing.
Yeah, yeah. Like when you're throwing parades for the high school football team, that's because that's all they have there. My thing, if I just hearing about this Scream, I would hope that it would actually make fun of TV tropes.
I would imagine. I mean,
because of
based on the series,
Scream,
the making fun of the horror movie genre,
and then Ford making fun of remakes.
Yeah, so it would make sense. I mean, I'd hope they would do that, part of me thinks they won't because they'll miss the. They'll just keep going back to making fun of horror movies.
I would think it'd be so funny if they were making fun of MTV while being on MTV. Like, this is all just Wes Craven's plan to just
that would be awesome.
Just do like a low blow to MTV. But
and the other thing is, like, I mean, I don't know as far as the plot goes, but I would hope it was like a whodunit type series.
I would think like a whole season of who's doing it.
Yeah, or of, I mean, yeah, like maybe.
I think it would be too much if
they just have a new copycat every season.
Well, honestly, like a new copycat wouldn't be a bad idea, or at least maybe change up a mask or something like that. Because that is clearly no
do
ghost.
it like a series, like, almost like what Halloween, the original Halloweens were supposed to do, a new Halloween.
Yeah, something like that, or almost like. Now, granted, I haven't seen this show, but I would seen like that Hannibal show.
Yeah,
seems like they have a new serial killer,
yeah.
Or like in Dexter, where they had a new serial killer each season, and
I
it's
think it would
them
work.
going after him, or
fuck, take it out of. I mean, I assume it's in Woodsboro. I'm not 100% certain, so don't quote me on that. But take it out of that town and make it like all these towns across the U.S. are hearing about these.
Yeah, and copycatting in different towns,
or like on the anniversary of the original. I don't know. Make it interesting. I don't. This is like that We Are Friends bullshit. I'm not on board with this so much. I mean, I'm less hostile about it.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, you're definitely less hostile.
Or maybe it's more like the Fantastic Four. I haven't seen anything that's sold me on the show.
Yeah, I mean,
well,
it's
this
just
show will probably be better than We Are Your Friends.
Yeah, I mean, it is just a photo.
Yeah, I know. I mean, well, I've seen a few like stills of the cast. But yeah, like I said, they just seem like preteens, and they're all girls. Like, I haven't seen any dudes on the set. And you need that
because
one
it's
movie.
MTV.
Yeah, but you need that one dude that's like knows shit about what's happening. I don't know. I don't know if they're gonna do.
See, I feel like you're giving the show too much credit to be
it's
that
on
smart.
MTV. The
I
plot is
know.
going to be about
if I were doing it on MTV,
if it's on MTV, they're aiming for an audience that either hasn't seen Scream or
or
I'm sure,
hasn't.
I'm
this
sure,
would be a better Netflix
I'm sure it's going to do
original
something
series.
stupid like how the whole show is filmed through a fucking
video.
camera or
It's going to be found footage Scream.
or through like or from like a camera on your computer.
Yeah.
It's.
I can only take so much of that shit. It's
There's
fine
some
for
movies
like
there's some movies that do it well, but there's some movies that do it as a cheap little gimmick. And
It's MTV. The plot is going to be thinner than a Martin Yan sliced vegetable.
Okay.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know, look it up on the internet.
Yeah, I guess you can Google it. I'm not putting links to that though. just Google it. I'll spell it out for you, maybe.
The dude slices vegetables so thin you can read newspaper through the slices.
Well, that is thin.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's how thin the plot's going to be.
So yeah, I mean, that's pretty much. There hasn't been much news lately since you guys probably covered a lot of it on your show. That probably like the Jason Statham thing, I'd imagine.
With Daredevil.
Oh, Daredevil.
Yeah.
We did it real quick.
We didn't do a big thing on it.
I don't have that much more.
No, I mean, besides the news, I mean, but we can totally go over it, obviously. It's not...
No, it's just...
You weren't there for it.
Yeah, I don't know. What did he say? Like, anybody could do a Marvel movie? Or something like that. Did you hear about that?
Oh, no, I didn't hear
Oh, he's talking shit now.
He said... essentially, he was like, you could take this... I can't remember the quote exactly, but it was like, you could take your grandmother and put her in a Marvel movie, and it would be successful or some shit like that. Nobody really cares. I mean, he to me, it didn't sound like he was talking shit, but at the same time, he was just like, well, now it's become mainstream. Like, everyone's in a Marvel movie.
If he's talking shit, I'm going to tell him to stick to fucking Crank 3.
I'd watch Crank 3.
He's not even in the new Transporter.
Yeah. Which is a shame, because obviously he's what made that series.
Yeah, just
and
Jason
the
Statham.
television show that they made out of it.
I don't have
Clearly it was the car, because that's the only returning actor.
Yeah. I've never... Jason Statham...
And the detective, though.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah. Jason Statham, for me, is... he's not a movie I'm going to... He's not an actor I'm going to see a movie for.
He doesn't sell you.
I mean, I don't have a problem with him. I mean, he does his action scenes great, but
Yeah.
he's not selling me on any movie.
Well, I mean, anything he's been in, straight to DVD.
Most of them?
Mostly.
What?
Except
Straight to DVD?
I mean,
Come
except like Expendables.
I mean, still
I
does stuff.
think as far as I can think of,
He was in the Fast and the Furious movie.
Oh yeah.
I was gonna say the Expendables is probably the most straight to DVD-esque film that I've seen him in recently.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, I like him as an actor. I'm a big Jason Statham fan because of all the shit he does.
Yes, but I agree with you that if that's what he's saying, if he's talking shit about like anybody could be in a Marvel movie, he doesn't have the strongest acting chops of anybody.
Clearly, Ed Norton can't be in a Marvel movie because they got rid of him.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the Hulk, you mean?
Yeah, well, that was because they were.
That's because that movie was shit. Not that.
No, I don't even think the movie was shit. It was he was promised some sort of creative control over the character or something like that in the movie, and it was kind of the same thing that happened with Edgar Wright. They promised that to him a long time ago, but then they promised that stuff to them, and then the movies blew up, and they're like, yeah, fuck this, we're not giving you any control.
Yeah, that's shitty.
And that's why
I would have
Edward
loved
Norton
to see an
pretty
Edgar
much.
Wright Ant-Man movie.
He still wrote it. He's just not
yeah?
directing. He still had a co-writing on it or something like that.
Yeah,
like they pretty much had the script. I mean, that movie, like, you can understand, I think, that where originally I think Edgar Wright was going to take Ant-Man and where they wanted Ant-Man to go, because that Ant-Man had been in development since, like, Phase 1.
Yeah. No, I understand that.
And then Avengers happened.
It's just the way, Marvel's become, this business. So they just want to keep their product going.
Well, yeah, they've been smart with their product.
Yeah. I mean, it's better than DC has.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's something that we can't
which
say.
Is a shame, because I love DC. I'm a big DC guy.
Mm-hmm.
Which, I never understood why, but...
Well, the comics, the movies are shit. I don't know.
See, I actually don't think the movies are...
I mean,
for the most part, aren't shit.
But...
Oh my god.
A good amount.
Are you kidding me?
What?
Which movies
Superman 4. The best DC movie ever made.
Okay, and we're going to go with Dolph Lundgren's Punisher.
Yeah.
That instantly gets a 10 out of 10 from me for Dolph Lundgren.
I'm just saying, Marvel had its...
They knew what they were doing. DC,
well, I mean, I would just say, like, the first two Supermans, the first two Batmans.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, I'll even say
Batman 1989 I still think is the best Batman film.
It's one that grows on me, but I still think The Dark Knight is the best one. I think, but I mean, I'll even say Rise is in there. But the Nolan movies are fun, even though maybe those are not so much DC friendly.
Right. I mean, I've said this before. I think the Nolan verse feels more like they could be just movies. They don't have to be Batman.
That's why I like.
You throw
the
the
Dark
Batman
Knight so
name
much.
on it. I mean, people are going, but they work as movies on their own.
That's why
just
they're definitely good. I don't dislike them. I just like Michael Keaton
better
as
than
Batman
and Robin. I mean,
it's hard to get worse than that.
The back credit card.
No.
Every time.
It expires forever.
Yeah.
Expiration date forever. That doesn't even make sense.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's always expired forever. That's what that would mean if it was on there.
Yeah. With all the leaked photos on the DC sets, I mean, it's just
they're not managing their stuff.
They're just like...
No, they're definitely not.
They have, like, no control. They're like me. They have no control over anything in their life.
The Jason Statham...
but, yeah, he was in talks to be
though.
Bullseye. But then they stopped.
We did discuss it. We did it on our Do We Give a Shit segment.
Yeah.
And... I think everyone was pretty much on the no side of it.
They don't give a shit?
I think we all came out that we'd rather see Jason Statham than Colin Farrell again.
Well, my thing was I would...
That's fair.
Yeah. My thing was I would have preferred... I like the reason why I like Daredevil, the franchise, so much is because I don't see with the Marvel movies is they get these people who aren't very well known. Yeah. I mean, I know Chris Evans was already Human Torch, and that caused the most controversy. Yeah. But Robert Downey Jr. had been completely gone for a long time. And now you see Robert Downey Jr., you see Tony Stark, you see Chris Evans, you see Captain America, you see Chris Hemsworth, you see Thor.
Yeah.
Scarlett
Johansson, I still kind of see Scarlett Johansson, but that's because she's in so much other stuff.
Well, and also, I don't think Black Widow has been developed properly. She's not as big a character as
you're right. But that's what I'm saying. And now when I see...
Mark Ruffalo?
No. Well, Mark Ruffalo, I'm starting...
man in the world.
Well, it's like... the other thing is, like, you see Hugh Jackman, you see Wolverine.
Yeah.
But the thing is that with... and he was pretty much relatively unknown whenever he got cast. Yeah. But what they did with they took this like kind of smaller character from Boardwalk Empire and made him Daredevil.
Yeah.
and I can't remember his name. I'm sure it's eventually gonna...
It's Chris... his last name's Cox.
I
know that.
Yeah, I think it is
It's
Christopher
Chris
Cox.
Yeah.
I think it's Christopher Cox. Yeah. But now all I see is Matt Murdock.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
they get these smaller people. I won't see Jason Statham as Bullseye.
Because
I won't see Bullseye. I'll see... Yeah, I'm gonna see Jason Statham playing Bullseye. That's Bullseye.
No, I hear
like
you.
Vincent D'Onofrio was kind of. I was just like, yeah. I'm like, I see Kingpin.
Yeah, that's why they work so well. Is because they take. I mean, take the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
Who even heard of it? Like mainstream. I mean, there were comic books, but nobody knew the characters except like the diehard Marvel fans.
Yeah, the only
up.
people I actually. Same thing, I think we discussed it also, but I said the only people I knew from Guardians of the Galaxy originally before the movie came out were Rocket Raccoon, because it was a talking raccoon that shot guns. I was like, the hell is this?
Yeah, right.
And Drax the Destroyer, because I've seen Drax in like some other...
Yeah.
I think Drax was in some Silver Surfer comics or something like that.
But they just know what they're doing, and I wish DC was just like, they manned up to it and was just like, why don't we just take their methods? I mean, there's even more photos on the set of the Suicide Squad.
You know what I'd find a better idea? Why doesn't Marvel and Disney just purchase DC?
Yeah. Then you could do the whole... Once they fucking destroy the DC universe and restart it again, they can have the universes cross over like they do in the comics. Yeah. For like one annual issue.
I'm waiting for this. If Batman v Superman is terrible, then I'll be like, okay, we're done.
I'm still...
Hey, I'm super excited for it. I'm really excited for it.
I definitely want to see Ben Affleck as Batman.
Yeah, I just think that with the amount of time and the money that they're sinking into it, I think that they have to... They got some newer person to be directing the DC part of it, but I think their casting choices have been either really good or just straight up terrible.
Like out of nowhere.
Yeah, like I think that Jason Momoa as Aquaman sounds good.
Yeah.
But I think the Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman sounds terrible.
Yeah.
I think that Jared Leto and Margot Robbie as Joker and Harley Quinn sound great. And I even like the Ben Affleck casting. Yeah. But Henry Cavill, I thought as Superman was not very good.
Right. It's back and forth.
Yeah, it is back and forth. I don't know.
Which, speaking of Batman and Superman, not to get us off topic, but have you guys seen the Shia LaBeouf motivational?
Yeah, with him inserted into the trailer, I have seen that. Do it!
Just do it! And
then do it!
When they show the Superman like statue, the spray painted like no gods or whatever,
they
put just do it on. Like, I've been following the Shia LaBeouf news kind of recently, just because I was like, what the fuck is going on? It's all a part of this art movement, which is he had this interactive art exhibit in LA a while ago, right after he did that whole "I'm not famous anymore" shit, which was, I guess, a part of it. Basically,
you talking about the thing where he put a bag over his head and let people come in and touch him? And
he would just sit at the table and you could just do anything you wanted to.
He accused some woman of attempting to rape him or something?
No, I didn't hear that. But so it's all a part of this like whole art thing, and then I guess it's called Follow the Heart or something. So he has a heart monitor on. Yeah. And it's hooked up to this live feed to make it like an interactive, like basically bringing people into the art form, which is just
basically he's a performance artist now.
Yeah, exactly. Which I guess he had to be something because of the copyright or the plagiarism shit he got in trouble for earlier when he made that short film. I don't know if you know about that.
No, I didn't know about that.
Yeah, he decided he was going to make this short film. I think he got like Jim Gaffigan to be in it, and it was like shot for shot, word for word, based on this comic that this one guy did. And I don't know if he like knew, like if he was doing it
word for word, he knew.
Well, no, that's not what I meant, because obviously, and it was shot for shot based on the panels I've seen, like side by side, and he just didn't give credit to the original guy, but he sent it to Cannes, and it like blew up, and then a few people were like, wait a minute, this is exactly like this guy's comic, and like he got so much shit for it that eventually he like hired a skywriter to like put "I'm sorry" in the sky and posted it on Twitter. But after that, he was like, I kind of just should fall out of the limelight for a bit. And then he went into this performance art shit, like a Joaquin Phoenix type thing.
Yeah, except a lot more nudity and dicks.
Yeah.
Is what he was doing.
And then he was in the Sia video with the girl from the first one.
What, from the chandelier?
Yeah, the girl from that.
Yeah,
they
the
did a
little girl?
second video, and he's dancing with her.
Oh, okay.
It's really bizarre shit. But
his reactions to things are what he needs to like calm down with.
Yeah.
Just say I'm sorry. Just say I fucked up. I'm sorry. Not these big elaborate. I need a fucking skywriter to say I'm sorry, or I put a big fucking bag on my head.
But I mean,
like you want to.
The man is an eccentric, so that's
well.
what
Apparently,
he thought
the reasoning for it.
Okay.
Apparently, the reasoning for the skywriter shit was because it was like a public
apology,
a public apology for a public display of shit he was apologizing for. That was the reason he gave for that. I don't know what the other shit he's been doing.
I just say clearly the man is an eccentric, and perhaps he's been holding it back, and he doesn't feel he has to anymore because everybody knows. Which
is fine. Which I don't know if you guys seen. No, what were you gonna say?
I was just gonna say is like what people want to know him as he's an eccentric and not Sam Witwicky from Transformers, or even Steven anymore,
or a greaser.
Oh,
Mutt Williams.
Yeah,
because he chose his own name.
That's awful.
Then there was this other. I don't know. I'm really shitty with names, but this legit orchestra made this Shia LaBEOUF song. Have you guys seen it?
No.
It's.
I really try to stay away from Shia LaBeouf news.
Well, it pops up in my feed, and I'm just like, I get trapped down this rabbit hole of like, what Shia been up to lately? I should make a segment of like, what
Shia LaBeouf is your YouTube diving?
No, not YouTube, just like Twitter shit. He'll pop up randomly in like trending topics, and I'm like, what has he done now? Or they'll do a segment on Hollywood Babylon where they're just going through the news. Kevin Smith and Ralph Garman of Hollywood, and Shia LaBeouf will pop up randomly. But this, I thought it was like a joke thing, and I guess it started out that way, but there's this song called Shia LaBeouf about Shia, like, beware Shia LaBeouf, he's a cannibal.
Oh, yeah, I've seen that. Oh,
and
yeah.
I saw this video where they did, like, I guess it was like the music video of it, where they had this stage, and all the orchestra was performing the song, and then they had dancers come on and like paper mache Shia LaBeouf heads, and chasing characters on stage.
Jeez.
And then, like, he's running through the forest, Shia LaBeouf. He's coming through the window, Shia LaBeouf. Yeah, and it's so funny. And then at the end of the video, like, they finish, and then you hear this clapping, and they pan over to the audience, and it's Shia LaBeouf in the audience, the only person in the audience clapping. The biggest laugh I've laughed in a long time.
I thought you were gonna say, like, honestly, it was just all Shia LaBeouf, like the whole audience was just clones of Shia LaBeouf clapping,
like a John Malkovich type thing.
Yeah. He should remake Multiplicity.
There you go. That's it for Shia LaBeouf news. Kevin Smith finished Yoga Hosers, which I'm probably one of the 12 people that are following that story. But it's Yoga Hosers is like the sequel spin-off to Tusk. He
finished that already?
Yeah.
Wow.
He did the final sound mixing like
marijuana
a week
is
ago.
A powerful drug.
I mean, honestly, when he started smoking weed, he became the most productive he ever was.
Yeah. And
he just started producing shit. Now he produces shit that like he wants to see, and based off Smodcasts he does. So like you watched Tusk.
Yes, I did watch Tusk.
And you own it.
Yeah, it's actually one of the few movies I have right now in my house currently.
But you know the two girls at the convenience?
Yeah.
That's what the Yoga Hosers movie is based on. It's focusing on their characters.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What, are they going to get turned into walruses?
No, it's not. It's not about that. It takes place, I think, like a year afterwards, where the news of the Manitoba manatee is what the headline read.
Yeah.
Has died down, but there's a new monster, serial killer, that's come about, and Johnny Depp's character is now on the hunt.
I was actually gonna ask you. I'm like, are they gonna bring back that goofy Johnny Depp detective dude? Because I'd love that.
He loves playing that character. Apparently,
it's weird. I didn't even know until like months after I'd seen it. Yeah. I'm like, Johnny Depp was in that movie. Who was he? And then I looked at the photo. I'm like, he was that guy. The hell was he doing in there? Yeah, he just was like randomly there.
I know, and the thing is, like, everyone in the original movie is coming back to play different characters. But, yeah, that finished, and supposedly he had a screening, I think, on June 1st at his house. He invited a bunch of people to come and see it. But I've heard good things about it. I don't know when or if it's getting a release like they did Tusk.
That's gotta be like a DVD release thing. There's no way. Like,
I mean,
I haven't even heard about it. At least I heard about Tusk.
Yeah.
I haven't even heard about that
Tusk
movie.
was in theaters, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was released in 600 theaters because A24 picked it up. And Kevin Smith was like, I want to kind of just go on tour with it like I did, Red State. And they were like, no, this is good enough to get, like, a big release. And he's like, well, I don't really want that big of a release. So, like, they stuck to, like, 600 screens. I mean, when I went, there were, like, less than 10 people in the theater. But it was such a cool movie to get stoned and watch. Which is probably how you should watch his movies now.
I think so. I didn't watch Tusk. I don't smoke.
Yeah.
So I just watched Tusk normally, and I was just
I've watched it normally, but it was definitely the best when I was stoned. Because, like, when it got to the walrus part, I was like, what the fuck? Like, audibly, and everyone in the theater was, like, the same, like, Jesus Christ, because it's, like, a real...
Everybody there was high.
Yeah. No one goes to see Tusk on its opening night, so, like...
Sober.
Yeah. No way.
But basically, the reason I'm so on board with Kevin Smith... I mean, not that
Because it's Kevin Smith.
It's Kevin Smith, but he just knows, like, what he's doing. He's made this whole podcast network. He's just been doing the shit he wants to do. And when, critics have shit on him since he started basically since Mallrats onward. Because critics...
Roger Ebert?
Critics in general.
I actually think Roger Ebert likes his movies.
I know he liked...
Keyword was liked. He's
Yeah.
dead.
Liked.
Well, yeah, I'm glad he's dead.
But he just knows his fan. Like, he's producing stuff for the fans. How he figures. I listen to, like, the only podcasts I listen to are the guys talking about shit podcast and anything Kevin Smith does. So that's pretty much the basis of all the knowledge I have. But he figures, why cast the widest possible net to get people to go? Why not focus on the people that are already going and make it for them? And so, like, all the Smodcast, like, Tusk and Yoga Hosers and soon-to-be Moose Jaws, they're Smodcast movies. So, like, if you listen to the Smodcast episodes, there are, like, stuff that they'll talk about or make shit up are in those movies. Like, the convenience store, all the products are shit that they've made up on their Smodcast show.
Oh, okay. It's kind of like Quentin Tarantino's, like, fake, like, he has fake products and all of his things that he makes up real quick.
Or, like, Guy Lapointe was a character they create, like, it was based on a real character for this, there's a Canadian maple syrup heist that happened, and they were talking about it, and the detective that was working the case was Guy Lapointe, so they made this, like, very characterized French-Canadian detective, which became Johnny Depp's character in Tusk. So, this is like a Smodco series of movies, and if you watch them, I mean, even like the ringtone on one of the characters' phones is a song soundbite from one of their shows. So it's just all connected. And if you're a Smodcast fan, you get all that, and if you don't, I mean, then you're like, what the fuck am I watching a Walrus movie for? Because that was the thing, it started out as a Twitter thing.
What the fuck am I watching now?
Why am I watching this dude turn another dude into a walrus? But that was because of a Smodcast they did.
I think that should be on the back of the DVD case.
That quote?
It's just Tusk on the front, and in the back it just has one sentence. It says, "This is a Walrus movie." That's all it says.
Yeah.
That's like Stephen Colbert wrote, like, this book, and, like, I forget who he got to say it. I think he got, like, Julia Andrews.
Yeah.
I think it was something like, I actually kind of enjoyed this book.
Yeah.
And that's the quote that he went with on the front of the book.
That's
it was about a pole, like a telephone, like a flagpole. It was like, I'm a pole and so can you, or something like that. And a quote by Julia Andrews that says, I think it's like, in a sick way, I kind of enjoyed this book.
Yeah.
And that's why it actually was, like, that's the main quote of the book.
I know when, there was a time when Kevin Smith wrote, I think it was Chasing Dogma, which bridges Chasing Amy and Dogma together. There's a segment in it where they're chasing this ape, And then there's a scene with like the Statue of Liberty crashed on a beach. And then later, Tim Burton did Planet of the Apes, and that scene is in there. And people thought like he stole it from Kevin Smith's comic. And then Tim Burton came out and said, I never read comic books, but I especially wouldn't read anything by Kevin Smith. And then later, when Kevin Smith released a book, he put that quote on the back of his book. Because it's just the funniest shit ever.
Yeah, I like whenever people
Yeah.
use like negative quotes. That's like Freddy Got Fingered. The little pamphlet on the inside of the DVD has all of the bad reviews on it. Like, this movie is the worst thing you'll ever see. This, and then on the back, and it's just one quote that says, "Like it or not, Tom Green's kind of a genius." All I want to do is hopefully that my podcast, mine and Adam's, my apologies.
Fuck you, we're splitting up.
All right,
The Adam.
You got first thing.
Adam
Guys talking about shit, and then the Bobby talking about shit podcast.
Guy talking about shit. We're both called guy talking about shit. But
Spelled
but no, my one thing I've always wanted to do is I can't wait to read comments on the show of people saying how much they hate us. That's what I want.
Yeah.
And I just want to find all their really bad spellings and read it just like that.
Yeah. On the
You
show.
should do like a hate mail segment.
Kind of.
That's what we should.
Yeah, like you're probably not familiar. You remember like old X-Play?
Yeah.
Whenever time they would do view mail, they'd be like, "All right, it's time for view mail, yay!" Because they had to do it.
Yeah.
So they'd pick out the one, and it was always the one that always talked about how much they hated them. Like they'd
It was
always
just severely misspelled.
Yeah.
They would read it as it was spelled.
Yeah, they read it as it was spelled, and it was like there was one that was like, "Adam, your shirt are so ugly, my penis fall off and run out the door," and that was like. He's like, we had to stop encouraging this stuff, but we really did receive this. So that's kind of what I always.
That would be fun.
That's actually my dream of the podcast is to be able to read people
hate viewer mail.
Yeah.
Well, I definitely think once once this takes off, I mean, I think you guys have built quite a following. I mean, other than the people you know, but
At the smallest amount, 61 people, that's not really that great.
I mean, for just starting out, I mean, you have...
Yeah, we started in February, so...
Yeah, I mean, we're not even a year old.
Yeah. But, I mean, you guys know...
Oh, well, I mean, we're gonna, I mean, we say it every time, but we're gonna be doing some, I don't know, maybe off-the-wall things to get some popularity. Like, I'm probably, like, as I said before, I'm probably just gonna go litter at the Monroeville Comic-Con of just little pieces of paper that just say guys talking about shit.
Just leave them everywhere?
Yeah.
We were going to go to the tables where they sell figures and stuff and start hiding them under the
like just slide them and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, maybe ask people, like, what do you guys think about Guys Talking About Shit podcast? And what's that?
What is that?
Yeah.
And they're like,
thanks for your opinion. We'll just walk away from it.
That's what I plan to do.
I mean, I know there will be a bunch of people that will be like,
I want to try to get...
this?
I kind of want to get an interview with Michelle Nichols after her stroke.
Yeah.
And then I'd be like, I got the first interview with Michelle Nichols after her stroke. I don't know if you know what that is yet.
But I knew that she was coming to Pittsburgh.
Yeah, she played Uhura in the original Star Trek. And probably isn't going to be around much longer.
Sorry, Michelle. But she's up there.
Yeah, she's up there. Nimoy just dropped. A lot of people are dropping. Like, they've lost, I think, just in the past 3 months, they've lost, like 2 or 3 main, like, recurring characters.
Yeah.
They lost Spock, they lost Norman Rand, Michelle Nichols, who was a horror, just had a stroke.
Yeah.
I
feel like
Shatner
will be the last one.
Shatner's the one who actually still looks the most healthy. And George
he's still
Takei.
working. He's always on...
He just hangs out on Facebook all day.
Yeah, he hangs out on Facebook and on the Howard Stern show.
Yeah.
Oh, I was, like, heartbroken whenever Nimoy died.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
I was, like, super sad. I immediately, like, I feel bad, but I immediately went out and bought, like, as soon as I heard the news, I didn't even have the money. I only had, like, $10.
Yeah.
And I went on to eBay and just tried to find a nice, like, Spock figure to go with my Captain Kirk. And I'd already seen them, like, all starting to jump up, and I'm like, oh, come on, this is going to be bad. And I just found one for, like $8.
Yeah.
Like loose, and I was like, okay, I want that. I
Yeah.
just want that. So
It's a nice figure.
I have just Nimoy up there with Captain Kirk.
Yeah, I recently just spent a shit ton on figures, and I probably shouldn't have.
Yeah, I know. That's what I do too.
I started with one that was like maybe $12, and then I was like, well, it was only $12. I can afford another one.
Yep.
Turned into 8.
Yep.
But I got the question, so I needed that.
You needed that.
I needed
I
it.
think there's different levels of collectors.
Yeah.
There's people that collect things out of respect, and there's people that collect things to fill a void.
Yeah.
What do you think mine is?
I think you're filling a void, Bobby.
I think I'm filling a very deep void.
I think you're filling a void.
This is the depressing section of the Matthew Danko podcast
Yeah.
where we talk about the
Danko's
voids.
like, I don't want to talk about why I collect things.
I honestly don't know why I collect things.
No, I don't think I know why I collect things
I mean, they
either.
look cool.
I really just think it's something to do.
I do think that too.
You
I've
just-
also started customizing some figures.
Yeah, you just are drawn to something,
I mean,
and you just want to get them. Yeah, I know. I've seen that. I mean, all
Yeah.
your shit's like, I love that Plastic Man, by the way.
yeah,
But
$10.
that's awesome. It's just, I don't know. I don't know what the weird thing is collecting. My thing is, as long as it's not ruining your
It
life.
clicks down too. Like you can push his head in and hit his arm, and it'll pop up.
That's so cool.
Yeah,
You should show that image.
I think.
I will.
Yeah, put that image in there and just highlight the Plastic
I also
Man.
made. I've been cleaning out my. Not to cut you off, but I was cleaning out
Thanks.
my uncle's garage. I'm sorry. We'll get back to you. This is the Matthew Danko podcast. If
I
it was
know!
you guys talking about shit podcasts, I would let you go.
I know. That's why I'm trying to be
just-
respectful.
Yeah,
He's like, I'm gonna fucking kill you after the show.
I know.
yeah, I know. I'm sorry.
Keyboards gonna be covered in your blood.
Just let
It'll
him
be a
let him
practical
go.
effect.
He's actually talking.
I know.
I know. I found this rock, and it looked like a kryptonite rock.
Okay.
From like, do you know about the kryptonite rocks they had in like the 70s and 80s?
No.
They were released with the pet rocks, but they were literally just a green rock, and they were marketed for kids as like the kryptonite rock. You know, the
Oh,
one
no.
thing that can kill your favorite superhero. Here you go and play with it. But they're like super expensive now, so literally I just painted a rock green with glow in the dark paint.
I always wanted a green dragon from Batman vs Superman movie.
Yeah,
The animated one that the Joker has.
Yeah, yeah.
I always thought the thing was fucking awesome. I would have loved that.
I just watched that recently.
That's such a good
It's
one.
a great one.
That's so
I've been
good.
watching all. I acquired all the Batman animated shit.
Yeah.
Since like the 90s, even like the new animated series that they have. The Brave and the Bold is just as good as the original animated series,
Really, that's a
which is
no pun
I
intended,
know.
but that's a bold statement.
yeah, but it's like
The game isn't.
I haven't
game
played
is terrible.
Yeah.
Why would you play that?
Because
I mean, apart from the fact that Kevin Conroy doesn't do the voice of Batman, they got Dietrich Bader, who is the security guard in Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. The one who makes them.
Oh, the one who
suck
wants
each
you
other
to
off.
say like, "Ooh, what a lovely tea party."
Yeah. But he actually does a pretty good Batman. But
No one
it's-
ever gets whenever I say that to people. I want you to say, "Ooh, what a lovely tea party." Like every time I play like a drinking game.
Yeah.
Like that's every time I try to get the rule.
Yeah.
I try to like, if I can, I make the rule where every time you drink, you gotta say, "Ooh, what a lovely tea party."
That's funny. But yeah, he does the voice of Batman. But the show itself is so self-aware. Like, it's supposed to be campy, like the Adam West Batman, but the characters are self-aware, and, Batman's self-aware. But they also have, like, Kevin Conroy come on as, like, an alternate version of Batman.
Okay.
Or, like, Adam West was on the show as Thomas Wayne when they went back in time at some point.
Oh,
So it's
okay.
like,
I get what you're saying.
it's really well done. And even, like, when they do the Batmite episodes, they'll, like, fuck with time and make Batman look ridiculous, but send him through all this crazy shit. Like, his top rogues gallery will be, like, 70 feet tall, and he'll have to fight him to prove to Batmite that he's Batman. Crazy shit like that, but Paul Rubens plays Batmite, too,
Oh,
which
that's
is
awesome.
funny. Yeah. Shit, what were we talking about?
What, before you cut me off?
Yeah.
the
I can't
the
remember.
animated series. Oh,
Before that.
Yeah, I don't give a shit what I was talking about.
Well, I was on mirror.co.uk, and they have the weirdest news articles ever. But
which I don't know if you're familiar with it, but that's like a shit rag
Yeah.
newspaper.
Well, there
Is that like the
some
National
of them are
Enquirer
hilarious.
for us?
Maybe.
It's not that level of ridiculous, but it's
No
that
Bat
level
Boy.
of quality.
No Bat Boy.
And,
Bat Boy needs to come back. They retired Bat Boy, I think.
They should put him in the new movie.
Dude, put him in there. That'd be so great. I would love if they put Bat Boy in there.
All right. Well, this one, this article I actually found on Huffington Post actually, but this led me to the Mirror. The headline is Portland homeless stop lewd behavior by pushing over Porta-Potty. Porta-Potties are disgusting enough to begin with, so seeing a man repeatedly expose himself from inside one while the door is open understandably made some witness quite touchy.
Aren't most porta potties like they shut?
They do shut.
Yeah, apparently this guy
The
is
guy
like, in there just
had
like...
one foot in the doorway and was just letting everyone see him.
Jeez, he was going hard.
Confronted with just such a situation on Thursday in Portland, Oregon, a group of homeless people took matters into their own hands. They forced a man to stop pleasing himself in the public toilet by tipping over the can while the alleged defiler was inside. And there's a video to this. You can see they push it over with the
door side down so that he can't get out.
That'd be rough.
These are like the Homeless Justice League going through the neighborhood, stopping people from defiling themselves in public.
Stopping public masturbating.
Yeah. Witnesses say that they were disgusted by a 48-year-old homeless man who was brazenly touching himself in the john. He was flashing us over and over again, and we asked him multiple times and told him to stop, and he just wouldn't. A woman said, like.
Well, that's why he didn't do it.
But is that like? Is he doing it? I mean, obviously he's doing part of it for pleasure, but is showing the people part of that pleasure? Like
Maybe.
just
He might be like an exhibitionist or something.
that just wants, but like, why go to a porta potty? Like that makes me feel like he wanted the privacy of a porta potty, but then was just like, I want everyone to see.
Yeah, I want everybody to see my dick.
So like,
I don't know. Maybe he gets like a thrill out of it. You know, like flashers.
I mean, I get
Maybe
that.
he's just like
but then why? Like I said, why go into the porta potty at all?
Maybe because he wants to like have someone go into the porta potty and there he is just doing it. It's like, oh my god, and I run away. I don't know. I mean, I'm reasoning for one, the dude's homeless.
Yes.
Two, he's masturbating in a fucking porta-john. I mean, clearly the guy's got some psychological problems.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand. I mean, and he's also homeless. He's probably used to doing it everywhere. He's probably been like on park benches, slides. You know, he probably goes all over the place. He's probably just doing
elementary school playgrounds.
Yeah, he's probably just doing new ventures.
He's just
I'm doing
testing
it in
the
a
waters.
porta-john now.
I want to see how far I can go in all these different places. He has a bucket list of places he needs to masturbate in.
If
And he's
I
crossing
was
them off one by one.
homeless,
It's like the New York Museum of Natural History.
yeah, like I did that there. I did that there. If I was homeless and I was masturbating all over the place, I'd try to find like a steel beam, like in like the old 50s when they were building buildings. And
Yeah.
you'd sit there and eat your lunch on it. That's what I would do.
And just jerk off onto all the people
Yeah,
below.
they'll just think it's bird shit.
Yeah. Apparently, they're not going to cite him though for the incident. They just let him go.
I mean,
Of course they let him go because he's
He's
homeless
like,
and he has
why?
nobody to clean the shit off of him.
Yeah, what are they gonna?
That's
what are
the
they gonna
thing.
do?
He's
Pay?
probably
covered.
breathing like solid loaf.
Just some.
I wonder.
fucked up shit.
They probably left him in there for a while. I don't think they let him out right away.
And the witness was like, "I think justice has been done. I think he's suffered enough."
Yeah, I mean, not only are your, yeah,
That's
not
probably why
only-
they didn't cite him because the people wouldn't have
they're-
showed up to court anyways
Yeah.
to convict him.
True.
That'd be the
That,
shittiest.
That might be
day
why
in
he was
court
doing it. He might have been trying to get thrown in jail. 3 hots in a cot.
ever. Yeah. I
It's
guess.
actually not a bad thought.
I mean, there's easier ways to go though,
Yeah,
other
he
than
just
covered in shit.
Could have just punched a cop.
I guess so.
But I mean,
He could have just pissed. He could have just jerked off onto a police car.
he could have started fucking the car.
Yeah.
And the gas tank,
Right.
the exhaust pipe.
Right in the exhaust pipe. Exactly.
All right, so then I don't know where to go from there. That was pretty much it.
You knew what you were getting into when you
No.
brought us here.
I know, and I'm glad. This is why I wanted to introduce it to you guys instead of because I know you guys will run with it. Let's see. A horrified man finds chilling Witch Voodoo curse on beach with picture of mystery stranger. A beach walker found a rubbish bag with an animal heart and mysterious photo of a stranger's face inside it. A man walking along the beach was left horrified after finding what he believes is a chilling curse by a scorned witch doctor.
Okay, so if you just find a trash bag on the beach, are you gonna really open it?
Well, the thing was, he said he saw it was floating in the water on the beach, and he was curious. He was going to throw it away, I guess to make his neighborhood cleaner, and was curious as to what was inside.
I'm gonna open it up.
And when he found, he's like, "Oh shit! There's an animal heart in here and a picture of some guy." But the thing is,
go ahead.
Go ahead. No,
I was gonna say there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. I mean,
this is completely normal Saturday activity for Bobby.
I mean, I've done it like a bunch of times. I wouldn't be surprised if it was my bag.
Well,
So I think this guy is he's blowing this a little out of proportion. Is all I'm saying.
Well,
He
the
needs
thing
to
was,
just mind
he
his
said
fucking business.
he took some photos, but then he was like, where is it? He found it was left in a container with solution in it to slow the process of decomposition down.
Like formaldehyde?
I think he took it to like a woman who does like ritual shit and was like, figure this out.
What does this mean?
Yeah.
So not only did this guy find
Not only did he
Yes.
open a trash bag,
that he found in the ocean, he's lugging this shit around and being like, here you go.
yeah, what is this?
Plop this onto like the fortune teller's thing. Like, what is this?
Does this
Like,
mean
look, dude,
good
I
luck?
just do this for fun.
I'm not actually a psychic medium. Come on.
But apparently the decomposition solution or whatever to keep it long lasting was believed to like whoever the man in the photo was, it was to prolong his suffering because like the thing was stabbed through the heart. So whoever the man in the photo was pissed somebody off, and they're like, I'm gonna make them suffer. But then the guy
That's gonna be your
said,
advisor.
I took yeah.
It's not like you actually did it.
Yeah, we're
I
also
know.
not actually going to do it.
I know, it's just the fucking guy. He did nothing at all to help me, and all the emails.
That's their job. Their job is to do nothing so that you're there longer and you spend more money.
Yeah.
Yep.
And like the thing was,
Why
I needed
go
to
to a
send
trade
him
school?
shit. I needed to send him shit to approve it, and I'd send it, and then he'd email me back with something that wasn't even related to what I'd sent him. And then by the 5th or 6th, 7th email, he'd be like, "Oh, by this point, it's probably too late. You might as well just give up." But a lot of these articles, now I'm moving on. This will probably be the last one. So much for 45 minutes.
I told you, dude.
I know.
When you have more than one person to do this with, it becomes fun too.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, the Matthew Danko podcast just started because I had a bunch of shit I wanted to talk about. Then I realized it's easier to talk about it with other people. But that's why it's called the Matthew Danko podcast, because it was a solo show. But now I have guest stars. So,
Yeah, guest stars.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Ooh. Not even guests. We're guest stars.
Yeah.
Can I be a whole constellation?
I want to
can
be a
whatever you
Scorpio.
want. Yeah?
You
Yeah.
want to be a Scorpio?
Yeah.
Okay.
I want to be a scorpion.
I'm gonna be like Orion.
Yeah.
He's got a sweet belt.
I'll be Betelgeuse.
Nice.
Or
That-
Beetlejuice.
That would make you like in my shoulder, wouldn't it?
I don't fucking know.
I think Betelgeuse is either in Orion or one of his dogs.
Is it Betelgeuse or is it Beetlejuice?
The star is Betelgeuse.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just called it Beetlejuice because of the movie. That's a star. I'm a star.
You are a star.
You're
You're
a star.
both stars.
I know.
I'll be Sirius then.
Alright.
You can be Betelgeuse.
I'll be Betelgeuse.
I'll be the Big Dipper.
Yeah!
For those of you who don't know, Matthew's actually nude, and that was a joke about the size of his enormous penis.
Yeah.
I'm the Little Dipper. In comparison. All the ladies out there.
But you
Wouldn't
saying...
mind getting on a Little Dipper.
Oh,
It's not about the size of the boat. It's about the motion in the ocean.
Yeah!
I don't know, dude. His pan holds a lot too. You know what I'm saying?
Look, I can make short little thrusts and in out like a fucking, I don't know, like an engine.
Half a second at a time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mine takes like 20 to 30 seconds.
Yeah, they're bored. They're bored by the 10th.
Yeah.
So it is about how you like the flow of the. What is it?
What?
It's not about the size of the boat, it's about the motion in the ocean.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It is about the motion in the ocean.
We'll put that on a t-shirt for all of you listening.
Because we would know because, we all have vaginas and frequently insert penises into them.
Yeah. Pretty much.
That's why we know. All right.
Well, this is kind of far off topic, but...
I use Wiimotes.
I think we're still talking about sex stuff, aren't we?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
But what I was going to say was based on you saying Scorpio.
Oh, okay.
I started watching that show Aquarius, the Charles Manson...
How is that?
It's weird, because, David Duchovny is in it. He plays the detective. There's this whole plot where this couple's daughter is missing. She's run off with Charlie Manson. And the wife hires the detective, David Duchovny, to figure shit out. And his partner is like this young cop who like goes undercover and shit. It's basically like, I'd imagine what an 80s detective show about the Charlie Manson murders would be.
Would have been.
Would have been, yeah. But I feel
is it
like...
in the 80s?
It's set in...
No, it's not set in the 80s.
It's set in... This...
That's what I was like kind of blown away by. Like I was
No. I meant if it was...
Like an 80s television show.
Oh, got it. Sorry. I'm an idiot.
No, I just didn't say it right.
No, I just didn't understand.
I understood you perfectly.
Yeah, I'm
alright, then you're the idiot there. If that's what you wanted to hear.
That's what I want to hear.
Right. But basically, David Duchovny plays, I guess, a David Duchovny, like, in the show.
Yeah.
He's not a washed up... He plays by... He's almost like Mulder, if Mulder wasn't chasing UFOs. But he's a real hard ass. Like, if nobody's giving him answers, he'll, like, threaten them to beat him up and shit. But the show's really good when it does it Charlie Manson. Like, the Charlie Manson character is very fascinating. And he plays it really well. It's really fucked up. But I also imagine that's why they didn't make him the star of the character, because then they would have to make him, like, likable to a degree. Yeah. That's why he's, like, a side character, so it's more focused on David Duchovny's detective.
What are they doing with him? Are they showing him as, like, somebody who's mentally ill, or some kind of criminal mastermind that orchestrated these murders? Because I think everybody in this room knows that he's not a criminal mastermind.
It's kind of like...
He's only a mastermind at getting people to do his shit.
Yeah, they focus more on that, not that
brainwashing.
Yeah. Basically, the thing is, he's at this party or whatever, and he has these girls following him, his Manson girls. And there's this one girl that he likes, and so he orchestrates this thing where she's there with his boyfriend, or her boyfriend, and she doesn't do anything. She's very much like, I'm a virgin, I don't want to do shit. But the dude's, like, pressuring her to do stuff. And then this other girl walks by and convinces him to, like, cheat on her. But you find out that the girl that he's cheating with is a Manson girl, and recruited, like, got them to split up so that Manson could swoop in and get the main girl. But he's, like, talking about how the world's fucked up and, like, this is the right way to see everything, and I just want to become a musician, like, bigger than the Beatles and shit like that. And the girls are there to help him get there. So but he has this, it's really fucked up. I don't know if I'm spoilers, I guess. I probably should have said that a while ago, if you guys intend on watching it. But the husband of the wife hired Manson to kidnap, like, manipulate and capture the girl. So, like, for some bullshit reason, I can't remember.
Or like Fargo?
Like
where he hires people to kidnap his wife?
A little bit. I mean, or at least... Or wait, maybe that's not it. Now that I'm thinking. I only watched 2 episodes. I think Charlie Manson, his lawyer was the dad, and he was blackmailing the lawyer for some shit. And I guess he took his daughter as collateral. Maybe that was more the plot. I don't think the other plot makes much sense.
Here's from what you're seeing, and now that sounds like maybe it's stupid, is this, like, based in real life, or is this like a fictionalized version? It's a
fictionalized version of it.
Okay.
At least this far. Like I said, I'm only 2 episodes in, but they haven't used any real names other than Charlie Manson.
I mean, he wanted to be a singer.
Yeah.
So I guess they're pulling...
Well, he was a petty criminal. He was a car thief.
Yeah, pretty much.
He's only... I mean, in 2 episodes, he's only killed 1 man.
Did he Did Manson even kill anybody
I didn't think he
himself?
did. I think
in
he
real
had
life,
everyone-
he's never.
Even killed
Yeah.
him?
Yeah, he's never killed anybody. He did spend some time in jail, and I believe he might have killed somebody in jail.
Oh, okay.
But in self-defense.
Yeah, that's what I...
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the show, it's really well written in parts, but other parts are really hokey. And the whole time, they're very heavy-handed with, this is a time period piece. There's... I mean, all the music that plays is from that time. Wall-to-wall music, almost. And, just the things people say or the things people, interact with. It's just very, this is, 60s or 70s?
70s.
70s?
Yeah, I'm pretty positive
Yeah.
because, Sharon Tate was definitely killed in the 70s.
71, I think, right?
Yeah, something like that, so...
Well, they didn't
Between
explicitly
69 and
say,
71.
but- so it's probably, because it's probably the late 60s.
Which is, might as well be,
Yeah.
the 70s.
But David Duchovny's doing a good job in it. I like watching him.
I don't know why Duchovny ever gave up his job, though, in Californication. He had
Yeah.
the easiest job in the world. All he had to do was just pretty much have sex with every amazing hot chick on the planet.
Yeah, he's just drowned in pussy, and that's it.
Yeah.
Yep, that's all he did. And then he got that, he got 8 seasons out of that.
Yeah.
They're probably dude, we can't keep hiring all these girls. You gotta stop. I like Duchovny, though, I actually do.
I would suggest
I heard about the
watching
show. My sister's really big into Charlie Manson.
Yeah.
So maybe she would
I'd give
dig
it a watch. It's definitely good. Except my dad. I was watching it with my dad, and he's the most impatient man on the planet because he was looking up the synopsis of the episode we were watching and telling me shit right before it happened. And I was like, what the fuck? Why am I even sitting here watching this with
Well, your dad was also alive then, so he knows what happened anyways.
Yeah.
Well, at least what the news told him happened then. If you
Well, I
see
mean,
any
he
of
was
those old
more
interviews, though, they
character stuff.
really... they treat him like he's a piece of shit, and they
Yeah.
just completely ignore the fact that he's out of his mind mentally ill.
Yeah.
He should be sedated 24/7, but they don't treat it like that. They treat it like he's a mass murderer, like he killed 70 people himself with his own bare hands.
I don't know what to even say about Manson. He's fucking nut. He's just a nut.
Yeah.
He's just crazy.
Well, we've gone on quite a long time. So I'm going to probably wrap it up now.
Wrap it before you tap it, man.
Good advice. We'll have that on another t-shirt. But thank you guys for guest starring on the Matthew Danko podcast.
It's no problem.
I mean, like I said, it's obviously a lot easier. I mean, yeah, I can talk for an hour or so by myself, but I mean, we go in all different places when I bounce and shit off other people.
Yeah, I feel like if you talked for an hour straight, I'd probably fall asleep and start dreaming
Yeah.
about your floating head.
I like listening to his podcast. I've done a couple of his podcasts while I clean my room, and it's
Soothing.
yeah.
Well, I can tell you haven't listened to one in a while then.
Well, there haven't been any.
Yeah, there haven't been any. I've had to listen to our own podcast.
Yeah. You gotta, I don't know, how many are you planning on doing in the future here? Once a week, twice a week?
Well, I do want to get to a once a week. I used to have this schedule where I was going to do a show every day of all different shit. There was going to be a Batman show, there was going to be Ash Wednesday, there was going to be movie Monday, shit like that.
That's a lot of work.
Well, if it was just me
Bless you,
recording
Adam.
for 30 minutes, but then it turned into me recording all that shit in an hour.
Yeah.
So it would have been easier because, like I said, I don't really edit my shit. I just kind of upload it as
You
is.
should.
I'm gonna this time around because I have more people to account for.
Did we talk to you about Scared Shitless?
It sounds
That was one of our
familiar.
plans. That's what we're gonna end series 1, around the end of September,
Yeah.
and then
And
we're gonna
October's probably going to be
It's like a Halloween month.
Yeah.
Halloween month. Maybe even do a couple podcasts more than just the one a week.
Yeah.
And maybe try to do some movie reviews. Get Sam in here.
That'd be
Get
cool.
you in here, and then it'll just be called Scared Shitless.
Yeah,
Shitless,
guys
yeah.
talking about shit. Present Scared Shitless.
Yeah.
Nice. I like the way that sounds.
Yeah, doesn't it? It's a pretty...
So you guys are you guys gonna watch movies and then review them, or are you gonna do commentary?
We haven't thought about it,
Yeah,
but I
we
definitely...
haven't fully planned that out.
Yeah,
but
I mean, I don't
in
even
the
have a
process.
problem. Yeah, eventually we want to try to get get some video footage or something like that.
Yeah.
Do a review.
Well, I mean, I did a commentary, I think, 2 episodes ago, which was probably a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
On the Nightmare on Elm Street. One of those. It was probably the third one or something. But
Is that
literally,
the one
I
where
just...
you thought that Freddy was gay?
No, that's the second one.
Oh, that's the second one.
The second one. If you watch that movie, it's definitely... Because, I mean, the main character, Freddy's inside him. And there's all like he comes out of him at one point, and there's this whole gay bar scene. And
but yeah, that was just a thing for October. We were thinking about. We don't know exactly how we're gonna do it, but we're gonna try to do something where it's mostly horror related. We might just do our guys talking about shit,
31.
And then we'll also have maybe scared shitless. I don't know yet.
I'd rather just focus on scared shitless for the month of October because there's a lot of stuff we can cover.
Yeah, but there will be news in October that people
well,
need to hear.
we could do
about.
like miniature guys talking about shit. So I just don't want to. I think doing 2 hours and then also doing multiple hour shows.
I mean, it depends on how often you guys are doing it. I guess if you guys do it every week, like you're doing it, maybe you could do
a lot. And see, Bobby's like, oh yeah, it's no problem. Bobby doesn't do any of the editing.
Well, I mean, he's just there to enjoy it. He's here to talk about shit, not do other shit.
He's like, I'm here
to talk. That's
Adam
part of the reason I
work.
didn't want to edit my shit, is because it's easier to just upload it.
Well, I mean, when you're dealing with me and Bobby and some of the people that we know.
Right,
I understand. Some shit up.
I understand that. So yeah, thank you guys for guest starring. We'll definitely be doing this again. I don't know when you guys are doing. Probably next Friday, I would imagine.
Next Friday is the Guys Talking About Shit.
Guys Talking
17.
About Shit podcast.
No, this week was 17.
Oh, then 18. Wow, we're almost
it's 18,
at 20.
18, I think E3 starts next week or 2 weeks from now.
Yeah, I think E3 is... We won't have E3 by Friday, but it'll be like... I think it's like that following... It'll be within that week between our 18th and 19th.
I think the 14th, 15th, and the 16th, I want to say.
Yeah, I think that is it. So be sure to check out that.
Yeah, check out the Guys Talking About Shit podcast. There's some great stuff on there. I mean, they do know what they're talking about. I go to them with any video game information I need, because they're heavy in game information. They're heavy in a lot of information. They could pull names of developers and companies right out of thin air, like you read about. I couldn't even tell you the amount of shit that they know. So go listen to their shit and them talking about shit on.
And keep listening to the Matthew Danko podcast.
Yeah, hopefully we're gonna do more of this and have these guys on again, because I like talking to them. Eventually it'll just be like the Matthew Danko podcast and the Guys Talking About Shit podcast back to back.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
all that. Look forward to the dank work.
The dank work, yes. Hopefully by the end of this year, early
I will
next
make it happen.
He's been doing a lot of legwork on it, more than shit than I've been doing. So, and my name's just on it, so you know. So until the next time, this has been the Matthew Danko podcast with your host, the Dr. Danko, and my two guest hosts, Bobby and Adam.
Bye! God damn it, Bobby.
Stay tuned for more.